You must do this one thing to shift to 5D. I challenge you to shift your frequency. Hello everybody, this is Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard, also known as Michael Denney. This is now the Michael Denney channel. I'm just going to turn on this light. I hope these help. Let's turn this on and see what happens here. All right, so I have a question for you. Are you living the life that you want to live? Be honest. Do you have everything that you want in your life? Be honest with yourself. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Are you healthy? Are you prosperous? Ask yourself these questions. Because living in 5D means that you are living exactly the way you want to live. That you are happy, you are fulfilled, you are prosperous. And there is really only one thing that is necessary for you to achieve that. The ability to make this one decision and take deliberate and consistent action on it will give you that ability. I guarantee you. I guarantee you if you do that, you will have everything that you want. But you must be willing to make this decision and take action towards it. If you don't, nothing will change. And the difference between people who live in what we are calling 5D and who will continue to shift towards 5D and those who will not has everything to do with this one decision. And this one decision is a conscious and deliberate decision, even though you tell yourself otherwise. And how do I know that? Because I've lived on both sides. I know what it is like to live in 3D and be wrapped up in the horrible, painful, miserable 3D life. I know what it is to feel trapped and enslaved in that. And I know what it is to feel free. I know both of those. So I know if you say, no, I'm miserable, and that your life is, if your life is miserable and you're poor and sick and weak and you are a slave, if that is you, that is something I have lived. And I know the secret on how to shift it. So if you want to live in 5D, you have to make this one decision. And if you don't worry, you don't have to do anything. Just keep doing what you're doing and you will slide down into the misery of 3D. So what is that one thing? Stay tuned to this whole video and I'll tell you. Before we do that, I want to respond to a comment somebody left that I saw this morning from a video that I made before I went to bed last night. So here is the comment. Oh, sorry, that's not the comment. This is the comment. So Mark Abar says, yes, of course. You are challenging, quote unquote, 20 of us to step up and help pay your bills for you. I hate to sound like a douchebag here, he says. We are all out here busting our backsides with each passing day with businesses, careers, and or jobs, trying to subsist on this lovely planet. All the while you lounge on your couch in the afternoon, watching television. Yes, you have mentioned this more than once. If your channel/subscriptions aren't paying you enough to survive, then go out and get a job like the rest of us out here. He goes on to say, I realize that may be, quote, beneath you, Mr. Ego. However, you have to do what you have to do. This planet isn't changing for the better anytime soon, at least in our lifetimes, Mark says. I sincerely hope that I'm wrong, but I highly doubt that I am. Do you feel similarly to Mark? Now, what Mark is responding to is that I've made a video and I played part of it in the video that I put up last night, where I'm challenging 20 people to go to the thunderwizard.com website, which is my Patreon site, and subscribe at the Warrior 90-day level or above. And the reason for that is because that is what I would need in order to be able to fully function and spend all my time focused on this channel. Otherwise, I may have to change and do other things. So Mark got offended by that. He got offended that, according to him, that I challenged him to do that. Now, Mark makes some assumptions and some judgments that aren't accurate, which part of it I think has to do, we'll get into it, with, Mark's chosen mindset. He could choose to think differently, but he's choosing to think this way. And part of it is he may just not be educated on what goes on here at thunderwizard.com. So I don't know how much of, I think it's a combination of both. But I'm going to continue to make videos about what's on the thunderwizard.com Patreon site so that you know what is there and how to get the most out of it. Let's continue to take a look and see. You can see along with me if Mark is right, but I'm going to show you the one thing, because Mark makes a deliberate decision in this, and he shares with us the deliberate decision that he makes. That is creating the life that he's complaining about. So let's take a look at that. And my question again for you is, do you relate to him? Do you relate to him? And it's okay with me if you do relate to him and you find yourself feeling self-righteously offended and judgmental towards me. So if you feel that, I don't want you to feel guilty. I want you to have those feelings. I want you to feel that, and then I'm going to show you where Mark makes the decision to have that feeling and why him choosing to have that feeling and that mindset is creating the life that he's complaining about. So let's take a look at it. So Mark says, yes, of course, you're challenging 20 of us to step up and help pay your bills for you. No, that's not what I'm doing. That's called a GoFundMe project. And what's wrong with that? I mean, there's plenty of people that have GoFundMe. There's no shortage of people that have GoFundMe projects asking to pay their bills. I'm not doing that. In fact, if I played that whole video, Mark, that you got so upset about, I only played part of it. I go on to say that I don't take, and I'm not interested in donations. People can donate to me. I'm not going to stop them from doing that, but I personally am not looking for that. I have these subscriptions which I've put huge amounts of time and effort. In fact, I'm 61 years old. I've put 40 years of time and effort studying, mastering, and experimenting and creating the teaching courses that I provide for you at thunderwizard.com that you subscribe for almost nothing. So that is not a GoFundMe project. I'm challenging you to do the practices. And yes, I charge almost nothing so that I can survive and spend my time doing what I'm doing, which is teaching and helping people. Mark, are you doing that? If you are, that's great. Is that part of the job that you're doing that you apparently can't stand? So no, this isn't a GoFundMe project. So he goes on to say, I hate to sound like a douchebag here. So then why are you? So you've just told us that you can't control your behavior. That when your ego is bruised and you get upset and angry, you can't control yourself. You have to sound like a douchebag. You make it sound like, okay, look, I'm not really a bad guy, but I'm going to be a bad guy. So my question to you is, if you don't like sounding like a douchebag, then why are you? It's because you're choosing to. The question is why? Why are you choosing to do something you don't want to do? He says, we are all out here busting our backsides with each passing day, with businesses, careers, and or jobs, trying to subsist on this lovely planet. Trying to subsist. That is your stated goal. You don't realize it, but you have stated that that is your goal in life. Your goal in life is not to be prosperous, is not to be successful. Your goal in life is just to subsist. And I understand that. I've lived that. I have felt the societal narrative which tries to hypnotize you into believing that's what you're supposed to do. You will all, like the WEF says, you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's what you're talking about here, just subsisting. Now, according to you, everybody but me is doing that, which isn't true. But that's a comforting thing to know that you're not alone. So what you're telling us, Mark, is that you want to be part of the crowd. Everybody else is doing it, and I don't want to be different. I don't want to be like everybody else, Mark. I have been that. I have done that. And I know what that gets you. I have friends of mine who are my age who have done that, and they are horrific. Many of them are dead. Some of them are incredibly sick. Some of them are addicted to drugs and prescription medications. Their lives are miserable. Why? Because they have bought into that idea that in order to be a good person, they must simply be one of the sheep that works their ass off for somebody else so they can just subsist. You have just stated that that is your goal in life. And my question to you is that what you want? I know that's not what you want, because you wouldn't be so mad at me because I'm living the life that you want to have and you don't believe you deserve it, and so you're going to get mad at me. Now, at this point, I could ask, why are you even on the channel? According to you, you watch my channel so much that you remember, and it's bothered you. And I've said it. So if I'm talking about let's bear in mind, I'm talking about meeting with extraterrestrial beings from another dimension, and I happen to be lying on my couch watching TV when that happens. The only thing that you remembered is that I was lying on my couch watching TV. And that is so infuriating to you that you remembered it and you threw it back up in my face to make me feel bad. I don't feel bad for having a balanced life. This is how everybody should be living, and everybody, including you, Mark, you can live this way if you make the decision to do so. And it will take a lot of work. It'll be a lot harder than what you're doing. You're complaining about going to work and subsisting, working your ass off at a job. What is a job? You're working for somebody else. You are making them money. You are the slave. You are the object that is working their ass off to make them money, and they're only paying you just enough to subsist. That's the strategy, because if they paid you more, you'd quit. So they pay you just enough so you can subsist. And this is something that you're proud of. This is your design. You're choosing to do this. So the question I have is, why are you on my channel? You've been on my channel long enough, you watch it long enough to know that I teach something completely different, and that what I want for you is to be happy and to be completely independent and prosperous. But you are going to have to do some things. The majority of the stuff I give to you for free on my channel. I'm giving you this video for free. I am addressing you. You complaining and attacking me and calling me names and trying to devalue me. It worked. You got my attention. And now you have a free, I normally charge, $300 to have this kind of conversation with somebody to help them. You got my attention. You're getting my free advice. So you can't complain. I'm giving you something for free that would normally cost hundreds of dollars. That's how successful you are, because I know that even though you complain about it, even though that you self-righteously brag about the fact that you are a sheep who works for other people for almost nothing and you feel like a slave, even though you are self-righteously bragging about that, I know that's not what you want. And I know that part of you wants me to help you find a way out, or you wouldn't be watching my channel. I can help you, but you're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to make some decisions, and you're going to have to take some actions on that. And that's what this is about. It has nothing to do with you being upset that I'm saying, hey, if you guys want this channel to be here, I need more subscribers. It's got more. It's not about that. It's about I am challenging you. I'm pushing you to make the decision to get out of your victim mentality. But I understand why you stay there. And you explain it. Everybody else is doing it. You don't want to be alone. It's risky. I know. I'm not part of this society. I don't relate to most people. I don't have a lot of friends. I'm not part of that. It's because I've chosen to live what we're calling 5D. And that means, by definition, you're going to be a little bit alone. You're not going to have as many people. But things are going to change. Let's keep going. I'm going to continue to help you, Mark. You haven't offended me. You haven't hurt my feelings. And all I've done is try and help you, even though you want to tell me I'm, offending you. We both know I've done nothing to offend you, right? All right, Mark goes on to say, all the while trying to subsist on this lovely planet, all the while you lounge on your couch in the afternoon watching television. Yes, you have mentioned this more than once. If your channel subscriptions aren't paying you enough to survive, then go out and get a job like the rest of us out here. I've already addressed that. He goes on to say, I realize this may be beneath you, Mr. Ego. All right. So you are, first off, again, what a hostile personal attack. To my knowledge, before making this video, I have never addressed you by name, have I? Have I ever communicated to you? Have I ever emailed you and knocked on your door and said, Mark, I challenge you to get up off your ass and go subscribe? Have I ever, in any way, personally? I didn't even know you exist before now. You're acting as though I came at you and personally attacked you. You are personally attacking me. You're calling me egotistical. For what? Let's be clear. You're calling me egotistical because I'm challenging people to subscribe to my channel to do what? To learn the practices that I am teaching. I'm willing to bet you haven't done that. You haven't done anything other than watch the videos. If I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. Have you done anything other than watching the free YouTube channel? I'm 99% sure that you haven't. So you can't talk about something you haven't experienced. You don't even know what those practices are. You haven't tried them. If you had tried them, if you had said, and by the way, nobody's ever done this. And I used to challenge people, and I'm challenging you, Mark. I challenge you to do the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. Do all of those practices. At the end of that, I challenge you to come back and tell me that your life didn't change for the better. I challenge you. I dare you. Nobody has yet. For all the time that's up there, nobody's ever come back and said that the 90-day challenge didn't work for them and my life is worse. Nobody's ever said that. Ever. And there, if you can go out, don't believe me, go out looking for it. You will find that there are courses out there, video courses out there that charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm charging you $55 a month to have access to this 90-day challenge. Find a better deal. I dare you. I challenge you to do that. All right. So Mark says that it's beneath me, and he calls me Mr. Ego. So let's be clear what I did. What I did is I did the opposite of what my ego wanted to do. What my ego wants to do is pretend like I don't have any human needs or frailties. I didn't do that. I went and I told you the truth. And I made myself look bad in doing it. I said, if the situation on my channel doesn't change, I won't be able to continue to participate in the channel like I have. I'll have to go create other businesses that will take me away from this channel. That isn't something an egotistical person does because it makes me look vulnerable. So I don't know where you're getting this idea that I'm egotistical. I'm doing the opposite. But it tells me that you can't do that. It tells me, and I don't know this for a fact, but it gives me the feeling that perhaps your dad told you to do that. How dare you? How dare you share your insecurities? Go out like the rest of us and work a nonsensical BS job making almost nothing. Don't complain. That's what that sounds like. Am I wrong? Because you're mad at me. You're calling me names. I don't even know you. And all I've done is try and help you. I don't know where the ego is in that. However, he says, you have to do what you have to do. That's right, and I am going to do what I have to do. But I tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go out and get a job. I'm not going to go work for somebody else. I joke about having to go work for Walmart. It's never going to happen. There's all kinds of other things I can do. That's not my first choice. But I am going to absolutely continue to make a living doing what I want to do from my own home, on my own schedule, doing what I want. I have the power to do that. I've learned how to do that. It's because I've made that one decision and that one choice that you haven't made yet, Mark. But I can teach you how to do that. In fact, if you want to know exactly how to do that, you can go to career.thunderwizard.com. There's a course there. Oh, God forbid you have to pay money for a course to learn how to do something. Or you can scroll to the bottom and have a session with me. And I would challenge you. I dare you to talk with me personally one-on-one. Not because I'm going to attack you. I'm not. I'm going to help you. But you'd have to want to change. And it doesn't sound like you do. The truth is, I know that you do want to change because you wouldn't have left this comment. You wouldn't have gotten so offended. You wouldn't have called me egotistical. You wouldn't have insinuated that I was lazy, which I'm not. You wouldn't have insinuated that I'm doing nothing for my subscriptions. Because if you had subscribed, you would know how much time I put into making those things. I know that you want help, and I know that you want my help. And this is actually an unconscious cry for assistance. And I'm here, ready to help you. I have my doubts that you would take me up on that challenge. But yeah, you would have to follow my directions. And every single person who has worked with me and followed all of my directions, every single one of them, their lives have transformed. But you don't know that because you haven't done that. You can't get mad at me for what you're not willing to do. But I get it. I get why you do it. I understand. I'm not judging you. I'm challenging you to change. Are you ready to take that challenge? He goes on to say, I realize that may be beneath you, Mr. Ego. However, you have to do what you have to do. And then, now we're finding out. If you want to find out what choice Mark has made, the one thing that he did that has created the life that he has and will continue to create the life that he has, he's going to tell us his strategy. And my suggestion is to do the opposite. I'll tell you how to do that. Mark says, this planet isn't changing for the better anytime soon, at least in our lifetimes. I sincerely hope that I'm wrong, but I highly doubt that I am. So what have I been saying in the recent videos? What you focus on, in fact, what you say is what you're going to create. This is why Mark is so mad at me. Because what I'm saying is that you must choose which reality you want to live in. Now, if you want the easy way out, the easiest thing to do is to choose to be a victim, to choose to do nothing, which means, now choosing to do nothing doesn't mean you won't end up working a crappy job. That's the easiest thing to do. If you do nothing, you will be pulled along with the flow. The sheep, the crowd, will pull you along and you will go get some crappy job. And like the World Economic Forum says, you will own nothing and everything will be delivered to you. It means that you will be a slave. You will end up taking the job that they give you, just like they used to do in the Soviet Union. You took the job that they gave you and you did whatever it is that you didn't have to do anything. If you were popped out of a human being, they gave you a job and they told you what to do and they worked you to the bone. And that's what Mark is saying that he's doing, that he's chosen to do nothing with his life. He thinks he's doing something because he talks about working a job and working a career, but those are obviously things that he doesn't want to do, and it's obvious that they're not paying him. Now, Mark, in order to have a business where you can make the kind of money that you want and live the life that you want, you would have to come up with something from inside of you, not take what is given to you. You would have to create something. And then you would have to work to create a niche. You think that this channel came out of nowhere? I worked hard. In fact, what was going on is that I chose not to go work a job. I stayed at home and I did psychic phone readings. And while my phone was there, waiting for it to ring, I was writing books. And you've seen, if you go to my book channel, michaelwilliamdenney.com, you'll see I've written something like 32 books. I was writing books. My phone would ring, I would take a call, earn 20 or 30 bucks, hang up, I would keep writing, I would upload videos. I worked my tail off to create this channel. There's no other channel like this out there. It doesn't exist. There's nobody teaching what I teach. There's nobody that's learned all of the things that I've learned and been able to bring them together. There is nothing out there that comes even close to this channel. Mark, can you say that? Is your job, your career that you're self-righteously bragging about, that you say you're working and you're insinuating that I don't work? Did you come up with that job? Did you come up with that career? Or was it something that other people created and you tried to fit yourself into? It's okay, there's nothing to be sad about. Everybody else does that. But do you want to be like everybody else? In order to choose, here's the thing that you must do to choose to be different. I've already told you what you have to do to choose to be 3D, which is don't do anything. Don't do anything and then need to survive, and then you will go and be forced to take one of these cookie cutter jobs or cookie cutter careers. You'll be forced to take that. And all of these things are designed to help create the third dimensional narrative. That's all that they do. And they make money for the elites. There are rich people out there making money off of you working your ass off, and they only pay you just enough to survive. Don't do anything, and that's what will happen. If you make the way that you do that is you do what Mark says here. He says this planet isn't changing for the better anytime soon, at least in our lifetimes. So if that's the case, then Mark needs to be a slave. Now, he doesn't. That's what he tells himself. So what is the opposite? What is what I've said? This one thing you must do to shift to 5D. What is that one thing? You must make the decision that you are going to get what you deserve out of this life. That you are going to be as happy as is humanly possible. That you are going to have exactly the life that you want. That you are only going to do what you want to do. You have to make that decision. In order for that to happen, you have to trust that the universe loves you. Now, I know Mark hasn't read my book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life, because if he did, he would never publicly state this planet isn't changing for the better anytime soon, at least in our lifetimes. He would never publicly state that on my channel because he would know that he is verbally stating the exact opposite of what I've been teaching. And the ironic thing is that he spends a lot of time on my channel. This is why I say if all you're doing is watching my videos and nothing else, you're getting 1% of what I teach. And there, again, Mark showed his ignorance of what I'm teaching on my channel. He wants you to believe that he knows my channel backwards and forwards because he's heard me say 2 or 3 times that I've live on my couch and watch television. And I'm sorry, Mark, that you don't have time to watch TV because you're working in the salt mines and you can't afford a television. I'm sorry about that. But I don't feel guilty for that. That's not something I have to feel bad about. And look, if people don't subscribe to the channel enough for me to pay my bills, all it means is that I'm not providing a service that people want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and improve and go deeper and provide services that people want. I'm not unaware of that. That I have to provide you with something that's valuable to you or you won't pay for it. Again, this is not a GoFundMe project. This is me. And my focus is I'm going to live my deepest truth and I'm going to share it with you. And so Mark, your challenge, I'm going to take you up on your challenge. You don't realize it, but you challenged me. So I've got another apprenticeship that's coming up where I'm going to go into more depth into working on an interdimensional level to create your 5D reality. I'm putting that together. So keep your eyes open for that. And people will either want it or they won't. And if they want it, they'll subscribe to that or they won't. But I guarantee you, Mark, that I am going to be very happy doing what I want, and I'm not going to be out there doing a job, working for somebody else, doing what I can't stand. And I'm definitely not going to make the decision to choose to believe what you have chosen to believe, which is that the world isn't getting any better. It's a piece of garbage and you just have to be a slave and do whatever you're told. You don't have to believe that. You can choose to believe differently, but it will be a risk. It will be frightening and it will feel like a risk and you will feel all alone. And here's the part that you may not be aware of, but you will have to feel like you are rebelling against that narrative that you so desperately want to be a part of. You will have to rebel against it. And this is the 3rd dimensional mindset. You will own nothing and be happy. That is the 3rd dimensional mindset. You will be rebelling directly against that. You will have to make that decision. It will be risky and it will be frightening, and you will go through a transformational change because you will also have to make the decision to trust the universe. Now, the hardest part about trusting the universe is believing that you deserve to be loved and that you deserve to have everything you've ever wanted. Right now, Mark, you don't believe that. You don't believe that you're relevant to this society. You don't believe that the universe loves you, because if you did, you wouldn't say, this planet isn't changing for the better anytime soon. That means you don't believe that the universe loves you. You don't believe that the universe values you. You don't believe that you are relevant. You don't believe that you are powerful and that you are God on this earth. I've been telling you that. You remember that I said I lie on my couch and watch television sometimes in the afternoons. You remembered that part, but you didn't remember the part that I've been telling you, that you are the most unique, most powerful being that has ever existed. But you have to choose to believe that. Those of you who are doing the live guided interdimensional meditations that we do, we're going to do one today. This is why I tell you, whenever I say, listen to what the light being has to say to you, I tell you now, tell them what you saw, felt, and heard. Because you have to verbalize it. You have to accept it so that it'll be part of your reality. You have to choose to believe the unbelievable. And the most unbelievable thing there is to believe that you are loved, that you are valuable, that you are relevant, and that you are God and you deserve, if you want to sit on your couch in the afternoon and watch television, that you deserve to have that. I deserve that. I'm not going to feel guilty for that. I would feel embarrassed if I had to say I work my ass off at a job and I don't even have the time or the money to sit down and watch television. I mean, the sad part is I tried and watched television and there's nothing worth to watch anymore. I can't watch it. So Mark, I'm sorry that I offended you, but the truth is you and I both know that if you were really all that offended, you would stop watching my channel. And if there wasn't part of you, at least part of you, that wanted to believe what I was saying, you wouldn't watch my channel. And the part of you that feels the need to attack me, to try and devalue me and humiliate me in public, because I had the humility to tell the truth about the status of this channel. The part of you that wants to do all that is a defense against the part deep inside of you that wants what I'm sharing. But if you want what I have, you're going to have to do what I do, which means you're going to have to go out and do things like subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong, or go to the shop and get the 5-Element Mao Shan, or spend almost nothing and get the Awakening the Immortals or the Celestial Qigong. Those are cheap. If you're worried about money, those are cheap. You can do that. And, you know, Mark, I will bend over backwards to do everything possible to teach you and give you all of the necessary things. But there is one thing I can't ever give to you, because it is one of the parts of the equation here. You must be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. Going and working for somebody else and not making any money is not taking any risks. You must be willing to take a risk. You must be willing to do something that's completely outside of what you understand. And you must be willing to go through the ego death. Watch your third dimensional world die. You must be willing to take an action that makes you feel like you're going to get attacked by your dad, who's going to tell you to get up off your ass, go get a job like everybody else, stop complaining. Right? That was your dad, right? Maybe it wasn't. Sounds like you had a dad that talked to you like that. At the very least, the world talks to you like that. Klaus Schwab talks to you like that. You will own nothing and you will like it. And you will never leave the house. And everything will be delivered to you by drone. And you will take all the medications we prescribe for you. Come on, get out there. What's wrong with you? Get a job like the rest of us. Work your ass off and don't make enough money to afford television or have enough time to sit down and relax and enjoy yourself. What's wrong with you? Come on, Mark. Stop taking yourself so seriously. I'm here to help you. And in fact, I challenge you. I challenge you to go and subscribe and become an apprentice and work with me. Say to my face, you can be on video and tell me to my face that I'm whatever you want to say. I dare you. I challenge you. Bottom line is, everybody, do you want what you have? And if you don't want what you have, are you willing to take some chances and do some different things? Are you willing to do differently? Live differently than you are. If you're up for that challenge, I am here to help you. And if 20 of you take that challenge, you won't have to hear me complain about whether or not I'm going to shut the channel down. All right, that's it. I love you all. I hope you understand that. Mark, I hope that you haven't got your feelings hurt. I appreciate that you left the comment, because you have motivated me to make even more powerful practices and more powerful teachings. And I am coming up, I'm working on an interdimensional apprenticeship, which is going to go beyond anything I've ever done. And you are responsible for that, even if you don't take advantage of it. Other people will benefit from what you have challenged me to do. Now, can you step up and respond to my challenge? I dare you. I'm going to respond to yours. Do you have the balls to respond to mine? We shall see. All right, that's it, my friends. I love you very much. Please be very good to yourselves. And I will see you all tonight, just a few hours. And we're going to change the world.